Good day, and thanks for stopping by GardenStateWeather.com, New Jersey and the Northern Mid-Atlantic region's weather news portal. I'm forecaster Robert Smith with the daily video forecast discussion for Tuesday, April 30th, 2013. And we'll start this Tuesday morning out with lots of clouds around the region, but there are some breaks in the clouds across interior Connecticut and lower southwestern Connecticut as well, and even parts of eastern Long Island and the north shore of Long Island near Islip are reporting breaks in the clouds this morning, and all the winds are out of the north and northeast actually, and basically temperatures are running uniformly from the upper 40s into around or just above the 50-degree mark in many locations here across the northern mid-Atlantic. And earlier this morning we had a little light rain here at Dover, and we also had a little bit of fog out here in southeastern Pennsylvania, but that should be burning off as well across Allentown, and Mount Pocono has been socked in with some dense fog below 1/4 of a mile this morning, but that's due to their elevation as well. So we're going to go with breaks in the clouds today. There'll be more brightening. It's not going to be a completely sunny day. It won't be even partly sunny, but by the afternoon hours we can already see some of this dry air and high pressure across the southeastern Canada and extending into New England is going to break a lot of this low-level cloud cover that we have in the area across the region from northeast to southwest as the day progresses. We have a little bit of fog too this morning in Caldwell and Morristown with temperatures and dew points around 50 degrees. And the water vapor loop this morning shows our one disturbance here exiting the North Carolina coast in the southeastern states. Dry air in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere trying to work its way in across northern New England down through the northern mid-Atlantic regions, and this is where we're going to find breaks in the clouds today from southern New England into northeastern New Jersey according to the modeling, and it looks like that's going to occur as the afternoon progresses. So brightening of skies here. And this area of low pressure across the Great Lakes, actually the upper Midwest, with this plume of very high water values here indicated by the rising motion here in the cloud deck here in the water vapor, is moving into the northeast, and this is beginning to weaken as this warm front lifts northeast towards the Great Lakes region. This entire system will be moving into eastern Canada and will not affect our area as high pressure here across southeastern Canada, Labrador, and New England wedges down and continues to build across the forecast waters and region from later this afternoon right through the end of the week. Doppler radar is still showing some returns here across the Delmarva region, and this is where we're finding some of the precipitation to be on the light side. Most of the rest of the region within a 50 to 100 nautical mile radius from New York City and points west is basically beginning to dry out in terms of precipitation, but there is still some light echoes here across northeastern Pennsylvania and some areas within this 50 to 100 nautical mile radius from New York City west still reporting some fog this morning. We can see some of the breaks in the clouds here, but there's still quite a bit of low-level cloudiness across the region, but things are starting to brighten up just a little bit. Here's a smattering of some light rain across the Delmarva region into the back bays here, and some scattered light showers well to the north and east out of our forecast region. Now today we do have some small craft advisories through Wednesday afternoon. They're going to be for the east winds at 10 to 15 knots and increasing to 15 to 20 knots this afternoon with seas 4 to 5 feet. And then for tonight, east winds gusting up to 20 knots, seas 4 to 5 feet, mainly in southeast swells, dominant period of 7 seconds. Northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, gust up to 20 knots, seas 4 to 5 feet on Wednesday. The seas and winds begin to subside on Wednesday night. East winds 10 to 15 knots, the seas responding by Thursday, dropping off to 3 to 4 feet. And so small craft advisories right now through Wednesday afternoon, and these would be for the waters from about Manasquan Inlet, New Jersey, or just points south of that through the Delmarva region through Wednesday morning. Here's our future cast going in through the rest of today into tonight. You can see the brightening of the skies by late this afternoon and early tomorrow morning. Could be some stratus working back in across the Delmarva regions in southern New Jersey tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. But then things really begin to dry out and temperatures respond. We could get into the 60s today in areas in Connecticut where there's more sunshine earlier, but generally holding in the 50s to lower 60s. And tonight, temperatures drop back down into the 40s with partly cloudy to clear weather. Tomorrow, a lot more sunshine. And as we do see that, we're going to have just a little bit of an influence around the barrier islands here, where temperature is going to be a little cooler in the 50s. But inland, temperatures should respond nicely into the 60s. And we could even get close to 70 degrees in a few spots by Wednesday afternoon around New York City and Yonkers and up towards Stanford and Bridgeport. We'll just have to see how much of that really comes to fruition. But nice weather is coming up. And the GFS maps in motion here. Here comes high pressure still trying to build in across southeastern Canada into the eastern United States, providing a light wind mainly from the north and from the east. So low-level clouds getting in and out of here around the coastlines. But generally clearing skies, brightening skies, and warmer temperatures as high pressure takes hold. Now, this upper low here across the southeastern United States is this blocking pattern, and this will be going into the period of late next week. But throughout this entire event, as we move through the forecast time period here, we're going to find that high pressure will be in control right through Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and hopefully the winds and the sky cover will be bright enough so the temperatures get back into the 60s and lower 70s. This upper level low here and this frontal boundary here across the Midwest on Thursday will be moving very slowly under this large block. We have low pressure off the eastern United States coast, northeastern United States coast. We have a Canadian ridge building aloft across Labrador and extending into western Atlantic Canada down through the northern and southern mid-Atlantic coast states, and then very strong high pressure over central southern Canada. Now, this is an omega block type situation where we have this kind of configuration here, an omega blocked as U-shaped. So in between this, the modeling wants to bring this upper level low and cut it off here from the polar westerlies by this weekend, and then drifts it gradually into, spins it into the southeastern United States, where the European model is back here a little bit further up into the Midwest. Regardless, high pressure will be in control of our weather, and we're not really looking at anything other than generally fair weather and seasonable temperatures as we get into the weekend and early next week. Now, the GFS model by early next week wants to take the high, parks it further east off the coast, and this allows that upper low to now drift towards the southern and central mid-Atlantic coast states. And as it does so, precipitation on southeast winds begins to increase, cloud cover does too, and we'll just have to see which one of these solutions is going to be correct and how fast in bringing this upper low to the east coast with the southeast wind and an influx of moisture. We could be looking at rain again by early next week, but no precipitable amounts of accumulating precipitation to mention here through the weekend. So that's going to do it for today. For GardenStateWeather.com, I'm Robert Smith, your forecaster. We'll be back bright and early with you on Wednesday morning.